So if you look right here on the syllabus, it's written right there. So you don't have to write this down. But you do need to register for it. So you need to go to Connect Math, register for that class, sign up for that one with that code. And then it's going to prompt you for an access code. You can use this financial access code for 2 weeks for free before you need to buy it. You also don't need to write that down, because if you go to page 2, a little over halfway down, right here, about 2/3 of the page down, it's written right here. So the access code is right here in bold, at the very bottom of that paragraph on the far right side. You should use this. You need to sign up within the first 2 weeks for this class with Connect Math, or else I might drop you. Your first homework is due in Connect Math a week from today. So sign up soon and get started on that. I would say sign up at least by like Friday and do it over the weekend. And then, like I said, use this free access code for the first couple of weeks. And then once you're sure that you're not moving your schedule around or anything else, then you can go ahead and purchase it. Also, get to know people in the class this week and try to pick, and like so today and Thursday, get to know the people around you and maybe move around a little bit and get to know other people. And then starting on Tuesday, wherever you sit Tuesday, so don't be late Tuesday, that's where I want you to stay. I'm going to make a seating chart and have you stay in those seats for a few weeks so I can learn names. Otherwise, it's impossible for me to learn everybody's names. Okay, good deal. Here's our agenda. We're going to start by reviewing the first page, maybe page and a half of the syllabus, and then we're going to do chapter 1 today. And then again, next Tuesday you have due Connect Math homework for chapter 1. So every day, kind of the first thing that's going to be up here usually is what we're going to do today, followed by what's due coming up in terms of assignments. So let's take a look at the syllabus. The very first thing is office hours. So notice in the far right corner, office hours. Tuesday, change those to 12:10 to 1 o'clock. Because I had to ship those, and I printed these in December. My office is in 2102. So if you're facing the library, say this is the library, and you're facing the library. You have the steps going down off the library. To the right of that is a little door, and my office is kind of right through that door, almost immediately. The first thing you hit right when you go through there. So that's the best way to reach me. For you guys, seeing as you're in evening class, you may not be in campus during the day. I will be here Tuesdays from 9:45 to 10:10. I'm here every Tuesday at that time, just for you guys, hanging out. So if you have questions, the best time to ask me is Tuesday after class, because you know I'm going to be stuck here for the next half hour afterwards, just answering any questions you guys have about labs, homework, or anything else, grades, stuff like that. You can also try to find me other times by appointment if you want, if you need to meet at some other time. Course materials. Why am I reading this? Let's get Adam A. Go ahead and read from the beginning. Course materials.
Course materials. Computer access. Connect Math access code can be purchased at LPC bookstore or online when registering through Connect Math. Free trial option. Register for course.
You don't have to read that. That's okay. Yeah, register for that course. So there. Give me a second. So there are a couple different options. So you can either you have to have the access code. You can either buy it online on Connect Math, and it's $104. Or you can buy it from the bookstore. It's $124, but it also comes with an actual physical book. On the very back of the book is the access code. So it's a little more expensive there, but it comes with the free access code, which is kind of cool. Both of them, once you sign into the access with the access code on Connect Math, both of them have an ebook. So you sign into Connect Math, there's an ebook you can access the textbook through the Connect Math, through that Connect Math course. Okay, great. Keep going, Adam.
Calculator, a TI-83 or a TI-84 plus calculator is highly recommended for class. LabVIEW can be used for class. Cell phones or similar devices may not be used as calculators on exams.
Great. So every single computer here has WabIMU installed on it. So in class, you can use that TI-83 or 84 calculator in class. Obviously, for exams, you cannot. Okay. The other thing you can do is you can, if you have an Android cell phone, you can download WabIMU, and then you'll have a TI calculator right on your phone, which is pretty cool. The ROM file for that you'll need, and that's on. I put that on Canvas under Info for our class. You can download that from right to your phone from Canvas, and then you can pull that up without any issues. Obviously, you can't use a cell phone or a computer on your exams, so your option there would be to borrow one from the library. They have 4-hour checkouts, and they have 24-hour checkouts. You just need to have your student ID card in order to do that. A second option would be to rent one from the math department. So I think for $30 a semester, you can rent one from there, and that would be for the whole semester. That's a nice. They have some nice new color 84s that we got for there, so you can do that. That would be in room 607 if you want to do that. So $30 for the semester, room 607. The other option is I will loan out a number of them. I have a reasonable number of them that I can loan out to people. If I loan them, though, I need a deposit in case you disappear and I never see you again. Then I can replace it. So for the 83, it's a $35 deposit. For the 84, it's a $70 deposit. And you get that back at the end of the semester. So you give me cash or a check, I hold on to it, and in the semester at the final, you take your final, you give me the calculator, I give you back your cash or your check. So those are all the options available for you. And we'll see how many. I think I should have enough. I should have at least 8 or 9 for each class. So that should be hopefully enough. Okay, keep going.
Binder. A 1-inch binder with dividers is required to keep and organize handouts. One section for quizzes, another for notes and class labs. Up to 2 points extra credit on each exam for binders.
Right. So every class is going to starting next class, is going to start with a quiz in the back of the room. I'll probably put the quizzes and handouts. See where the printer is? It'll probably be to the right of the printer underneath that little computer there in the back of the room. And that will have your quiz and any other handouts, like Chapter 2 notes will probably be there next class. And you'll come in and do the quiz. All those quizzes for each class should be together in one section of your binder. In another section, you can separate them by a colored sheet of paper or a piece of paper folded over, wherever, it doesn't matter, it doesn't have to be fancy. In the other section, you'll need to have all of the stuff like the Chapter 1 notes that you have now. All those chapter notes and in-class labs, those should be together, completed, and in order. If all the quizzes are completed and in order, and all of your notes are completed and in order, then you can get up to 2 points extra credit on your exam. And then after each exam, you can take those out of your binder and put in, make room for the new ones. Just keep them in like a folder at home or something like that. Can you use the same binder for multiple classes? I don't care. Yeah, I just need 2 sections of that binder. You can also use like the thinner paper binders that are just like this thick, right? As long as they have 3 hole spots, 3 rings, or 3 hole things, you can put the papers in, then that's all good. Great, keep going.
Software. Some assignments are to be completed utilizing Microsoft Excel or TI-83/84 calculators, which are both available on all in-class computers.
Keep going.
Optional physical textbook. Blumen Elementary Statistics, a brief version, 8th edition,
You can skip
ISBN
that part.
code.
Yeah.
Note, the complete textbook is available online with access to Connect Math. A hard copy textbook is not required for the course.
Right, so you may want that hard copy textbook, but you don't have to have it. It's up to you. If you want it, then you should buy it from the bookstore for $124-ish. I think it's somewhere around there. If you don't want the hard copy textbook, then you can just buy just the access online at Connect Math for $104. Okay, good. Prerequisites, Math 50 or 55 or guided self-placement. So starting this past fall, you don't have to take 50 or 55 to get in here. You can come straight in here if you choose to, just by self-placing yourself into it. So what that sort of has resulted in is a couple of things. So first off, talk about this. Should you be here? If you are a STEM major, nursing major, business, psychology, sociology, any of the ologies pretty much, criminal justice, and certain private schools, like I think UOP, you need to be taking Math 40. If you are an English major or a welding major, you don't need this class, probably. You can take Math 47. Math 47 is math for liberal arts majors. It is less rigorous, which is our way of saying it's easier, right? I've had students take this class and also take that class, and typically they get like a grade that's roughly like 1.5 times higher there than they would here. It's an easier class. These are the times it meets. We offer 4 sections. So if any of those times work for you, the closest to this time would probably be Monday, Wednesday, 5:30 to 7:30 class. But yeah, it's a 3-unit class. It's an easier class than this one. So if you think that you might qualify for being in that class instead, you should talk to your counselor just to confirm and make sure that the colleges you're selecting take Math 47. And that's okay for your major, and then I would recommend that, because I had somebody who, if you're just going into like basic teaching, a bunch of other ones, then and welding. I don't know what my welding student, she was working so hard, she didn't need to do that. She could have been in that one, rather than working really hard and struggling here. The other thing is, who's heard of AB 705? Anybody at all? Nobody. You guys have it. All right. So AB 705, Assembly Bill 705, California Assembly. I don't know. They decided that, based upon some research, that students would have a better chance of completing statistics their second semester if they took statistics in the fall and failed, and then retook it in the spring. They'd be more likely to pass by the spring than if they took intermediate algebra in the fall and then took statistics in the spring, which does make sense, right? If you take 2 shots at it, you're more likely to pass. So they've kind of passed this bill that says that people can start straight in on it, assuming that they might fail the first time, but that first time failing will give them some knowledge and some understanding of the material so they can pass it the second time. Super common. I can't even count on my fingers because it's more than that. The number of students I've had who have taken me the first time, failed, and then retook it with me the second semester and gotten a B. Not even a C, but a B. So statistics is one of those courses where everything's new. It's not like algebra, where you've seen algebra since like 5th, 6th grade, right? It's brand new stuff. It's new material. It's new ideas. So a lot of times people need 2 looks at it in order to really get it. So if you are in that position, I'm not saying you're all going to fail. Don't come away with that. What I'm saying is, if you happen to be in this position where you end up not passing, and there might be like a 25 to 40% chance of people, probably 25 to 40% of the people won't pass the first time around. It's totally normal and very typical, and somewhat expected that a certain percentage is not going to pass the first time. And don't feel bad about that. Just realize that if you work hard and take it next semester, then there's a really good chance that you could get a B or higher on that. So that's kind of what we're saying. Because like I said, it's a lot of new stuff that's coming in here. As part of that, we're offering free, the state has given us some money, we're offering free support classes. So you can either take them for free or you can take them for credit. So if you need the credit for financial aid or veterans or other things, you can take it for credit if you want. If not, you can just take it for free. But they meet at these times, and they meet 2.5 hours a week. So 1 hour and 15 usually twice a week, typically. These are the times they meet. So these are all different sections. There's 10 different sections. And it's a support class. So it's not a place to go in and do your homework. It's a place to go in if you have a problem on your homework that you're struggling with. You can go in and work with other people and they can help you solve it, stuff like that. Or if you want to prepare for an exam. If you want to watch, there's some really great videos we put in there that you can watch. There's also some study skill stuff in there. So it's more about like working with groups and people to try to understand some concepts that are tougher concepts, not your basic boring stuff, but like kind of the harder stuff that you're struggling with in the class. It's really good. I've had students, I think 10 or 12 students all together last semester. There's a group in my night class. There was a group of 4 of them who would do it right before my class, so they'd go there, and it kind of helped them. They thought they liked it because it kind of helped them warm up for math and get them thinking about statistics, and then talk about stuff, and then they'd come into class and they would just shred it. So I had students who typically would have gotten a B, I think, and they ended up getting A's. And then I had another one who probably would have done the same thing, except she got sick and had some other issues going on, so what could have really derailed her, she ended up still getting a B. So it's really a helpful, it's a helpful thing to do. And also, if you take this support class, sign up for it. I believe it's important enough that I will give you 2 points extra credit on every exam if you sign up for the support class and attend it and do the stuff for it. So that's one way of getting extra credit for the exam. In addition, so there's this, or you can't do both, tutoring. So we have tutoring in the tutorial center. You can do both, let me rephrase that, but you can't get points, extra credit points for both. So if you do 4 hours of tutoring in the tutorial center, we have drop-in tutoring over there, you can get 1 point extra credit on each exam when you do 4 hours of tutoring between the exams, from one exam to the next. But you can only get points from one or the other, because otherwise it's just way too many. I can't give away that many points. So 2 points for this. Smart Shops. Who's ever heard of a Smart Shop here? It's these free workshops that we give. They're an hour long. There are various times and places around campus. If you attend 2 of those and bring me the little sign-in slips for those, the instructor signed slips for those, then 2 of those, I'll take 2 of those. I'll give you 1 point on your exam, and I'll tear those up, so you can't reuse them for something else. But that's worth 1 point extra credit. So it's possible to get 2 for your binder, plus 2 for your support class, plus 1 more, a total of 5 possible points extra credit on each exam, theoretically. Good? Everybody understand how that all works? All right. Good deal. So let's get back to this. Grading. So Connect Math homework and video. So your Connect Math homework is worth 14% of your grade. If you do it late, you lose 50%. Then everything after the due date is only worth 50%. So it's going to be due every Tuesday and Thursday. Occasionally there'll be one due on a Sunday. I think there are 3 Sundays during the semester where you have a homework due on a Sunday, but typically they're due every Tuesday and Thursday. So there'll be one due on next Tuesday, and then Thursday I'll sign one that's due next Thursday. Excel labs and projects. We are required by the CSUs and UCs to have a project or technology labs, so we have to have those. They're not an option. And I've kind of started doing projects which people find a little more interesting. Those will be with Excel or Google Sheets, and we'll be starting those up pretty soon. That's worth 7% of your grade. We also have in-class labs, quizzes and labs, which we'll talk about momentarily, worth 14% of your grade. The first 3 exams are each worth 13% of your grade, for 39%, and the final, exam 4 is wrapped into the final. And that's worth a total of 26% of your grade. The final is cumulative. These are tentative dates for the exams. The final is fixed. It is Thursday, May 21st at 7:30 in here. There are some, no makeups without prior consent. Can you read the expected behavior part?
Be on time to class. Please be respectful of everyone in the classroom by not holding side conversations. Help create a safe environment. We all make mistakes, including myself. There are no stupid questions, so do not judge others by their questions. They may learn differently from you. No children, pets, or non-enrolled students are allowed to sit on the class.
Great. So side conversations, even if you're talking about math, even if you're talking about a problem we just finished, and you guys are still working on it, if I call everybody back in to go on to the next topic, I need you guys to stop and like, you'll have time in another 15, 20 minutes to get back to that. But the problem is, when I used to allow that, is other people would get distracted and it would mess them up. And if this group is talking and these guys have a hard time focusing or hearing because they're talking, it's not fair to them. Right? People are all paying for this class, and I have to stick up for the rights of the students who are paying for the class, and they have a right to be able to hear and not be distracted. So I'm going to be kind of a jerk about that. If you guys are talking and keeping other people from being able to totally focus, because it's all, like I said, it's all new stuff, and there's a lot of new stuff going on. So it's really important that people be able to hear and focus on what's happening. So no side talking, even if it's about math. Attendance. Carl, C, go ahead and read.
Due to the nature of mathematics classes, it is expected from you to attend every class session for the entire class time. Every class there will be a quiz and an in-class lab graded entirely on participation, which accounts for 14% of your grade. You must be present on time and participating for the entire period to get full credit for these assignments. There are no makeups for these, however, since emergencies do happen, I will drop at least 2 of these scores.
Right. Your class meets twice a week, so I will drop 2 of them, the lowest 2. Emergencies can be anything. They can be, you had a flat tire, you're sick, you're in the hospital, you gotta take your mother to the hospital, you gotta take your pet to the vet. Your friend scored great concert tickets and you really want to go. That's fine. Any of those are acceptable emergencies. I don't need to know about them. Except in the first 3 weeks, if you're going to miss class in the first 3 weeks before census, there's a lot of shifting that goes on those first 3 weeks. People change classes, they change instructors, they change their schedules, life changes. So I might assume that you're dropping the class. You need to email me if you're going to miss class these first 3 weeks so I don't drop you. Right? Because there's just too much of natural people changing and dropping. So make sure that. The other thing is, I expect you to be here every class session the entire time. So every class is going to start with a quiz. If you're 5 minutes late to that quiz, you're going to lose 1 point out of that. It's a 3-point quiz. You're going to lose 1 point. If you're 10 minutes late, you're going to lose 2 points. If you miss the entire quiz, you're going to miss 3 points. The whole day is 10 points. So the rest of the class time is like 7 points. If you leave early, like roughly every 15 minutes you leave early, that's a point. So basically it's about you guys being here, doing work while you're here, collaborating and communicating and working with each other so other people can benefit by your ideas and your insights, and sharing your knowledge and everything else. And by doing the work, I mean, if you're working on your homework, instead of doing the classwork we're doing, you're doing these points. If you've already finished what we're working on in class, and you're just waiting for everybody else to catch up and finish, then you can do whatever you want. You can be on your phone, whatever. But if you haven't done what we're working on, and you're doing something else, then I'm going to kind of dock you for that. Because this 14%, I'm giving you this free 14%. You get 100% on it very easily, just by showing up, being here the whole time, and working while you're here. Okay. The quizzes, all this stuff is graded entirely upon participation. So work with your classmates and just be trying to learn math. Well, let's see what else is important. Attendance. So if you miss more than 2 consecutive classes or 3 classes total, I might drop you. Most likely I'll probably talk to you first and see what's going on. Here's some important dates happening. You'll notice March 10th is Flex Day. That does not apply to you guys. Your guys are night class, so that doesn't affect you guys at all. Computer requirements. Talked a little bit about homework. One thing to note about homework is where at the bottom in bold where it says, do not rotely follow the example to do each step without any idea what you're doing. It's a waste of your time. Homework is designed to help you learn and remember. So there are examples, but don't just say, this happens next, okay, this happens next, okay, this happens next. Look at the example, try to figure out with the help of the example, and then go back and do the problem. Kind of learning from what you learned in the example. Talking about stuff in the quizzes. Quizzes, make sure that you use the restroom before the exam starts. case you might need to use it. Student learning outcomes. All these student learning outcomes, this is a hint, I have to have all of them on the final. I'm required to. So this will give you an idea of what will definitely be on the final as you're preparing for it, except for the bottom one because that's a lab. It's a lab thing, so that won't be there. Repeatability, adding, dropping, and some references, so resources. So I'll give you guys 30 seconds or 45 seconds to kind of look over this on your own. Go ahead and take a look. Okay, so I would say you want to make sure you choose an instructor that works with your style of learning. If you might have noticed, I'm not calm. Calm is not a word people use to describe me. I also talk very quickly. I can't really change that. I've tried and I can do it for like maybe 5 minutes and then right back to this. So if that doesn't work for you, then you should probably find another instructor. Sarah Gannondan, it's kind of a newer section we opened up, and she does have, I think, like 5 or 6 spots still open. That's today, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 5 to 7:30. Just right down there. It's actually room 1004. Sorry, I miswrote that. 1004. But she's super cool. She's a lot calmer than I am. She's also probably more organized than I am. But yeah, so that's what's one possibility. But this week would be the week to figure out if another instructor will work better for you. So just kind of keep that in mind. No hard feelings. Just got to find what works well for you. And my style doesn't always work great for everybody. The other thing is I don't do my labs, my Excel labs, my technology labs in class. Most instructors do them in class. I make you guys do it on your own time outside of class. And I use our in-class lab time to do in-class lab problems, which are similar problems you're going to get on the exam. You work collaboratively with people to do those. I find that helps people do better on exams and learn the material better. However, that does mean that you need to do that. You need the Excel labs and the technology labs kind of on your own time. And that might add an extra hour a week to your workload. So just making sure you guys know that. Okay. How about Eduardo? Go ahead. Eduardo B.
I'm like repeatability.
Nope. Very top. 10%.
Oh. 10% of what you hear. On average, instructors spend about 80% of their time lecturing to students, and 1 week later, students can recall less than 1/5 of the lecture material they're being asked to learn.
Right. So that's the traditional lecture, what people used to do. They stand up there and talk and talk and talk, and students don't really remember. That's not effective for most students. 30% of what you see. So if they write something up there, then that's a little bit better. 50% of what you see and hear. They kind of combine both of those, what you see and hear. And then keep going.
70% of what you do. Become an active learner. Get involved, ask questions, work with your neighbors, do the lab problems.
I mean the in-class lab problems by that, the stuff we're doing in class. Because you learn math by doing math. And then the last part?
90% of what you explain / put in your own words.
Right. So this whole concept, this whole 10%, 30%, 70%, how many feel like you know this now that we've gone over this? Like you kind of know it. It makes sense. Which is easier, to know it or to explain it to somebody else? If I said, well, now explain, go to your sister or your brother or your friend and explain this to them. Is it easier to know it or to explain it? To know it. Why is that? Because if you explain things, you have to have, in order to explain something, you have to create a clearer mental structure. The whole process of putting it into your own words makes you have to think about it and organize the information. When you organize the information, you create what we call a clear mental structure, which takes extra work. But then if you have a clear mental structure, it's easier for you to store it into long-term memory and retrieve that information from long-term memory. So that's why explaining and putting things into your own words is such a critical, important part of the long-term storage process, because it forces you to create a clearer mental structure of the information. And by doing that, it makes it easier to store and retrieve. So a lot of what we're doing when you work with your classmates, don't just say, oh, do this, or, oh, the answer is that. Say, oh, well, this is this because of this, and because of, and explain it to them, because it's going to force you to create a clear mental structure of the information and the concept in your head, and it'll make it easier for you to remember and understand it and retrieve that information later on in the exam. And also it's better for them, because otherwise it's like, what do they learn? They learn to copy you. And it's much better for them to kind of understand the idea than it is for them to just say, oh, well, Mary says, write down 5, so let's write down 5. Right? So it's just better all around. So we'll kind of be doing a lot of things where you guys really, honestly, I'm going to teach you very little. You guys are going to be teaching each other more than you're going to learn from me, because there's many more of you, and you'll be all working together. So it's really important for you guys to get used to the idea of explaining to each other and not just telling each other, oh, the next step is this, or just do that, but kind of the whys and everything else. All right. We just finished Math Jam. Yay! We talked a lot in there about growth mindset and struggle. Struggle is how your brain grows. Like if you're trying to figure something out and you're working on it, you can really see like the brain light up more. And it's creating these dendrites, these connections between brain cells. And the more you kind of do that, and the more you kind of increase and strengthen those connections, the stronger your brain gets. The more brain cells you're kind of actively pulling in to work for you. Not constant struggle, right? At some point, you top out, and you get frustrated. So struggle, try to sort it out, and if you really have struggled a bit and can't sort it out, then get some help from your classmates, from the math lab, from me, your instructor. But challenge yourself and try to find opportunities to challenge yourself in this class. Every class. Why am I reading this? Jessica E. Read.
Every class after today will start with a quiz graded entirely on being there on time, being here on time, and working. Open notes, open collaboration. Ask others looking at notes or checking online PDF notes if you get stuck.
Did you read the first one too?
Oh, I thought you would know. Every class will work on class notes with class lab problems graded based on attendance and participation.
Okay, cool. Right, so again, 14% of your grade for free you get just by being here and working while you're here. Okay, and these quizzes are open notes, open collaboration. So you can ask others, you can look at your notes, those are really useful. You can look online at the PDF notes. So here, if we go to our Canvas site, let's see, let's go to yours. Ours is here. You'll see these board work PDFs. It's bigger. Everything that I'm doing on this board, on my board, and everything I'm writing, I save those as a PDF, and those I post in this board work PDF in chapter 1, so it'll be posted in chapters 1, 2, 4. So you can go there and you can look and see the notes that we've done in class and everything up there, kind of as a good review. And then also all of our project files are going to be here. If you have information, I stopped printing out the instructions for the most part because people just look on here anyways and it wastes paper otherwise. So if you want a hard copy, let me know, I can get you one. But for the most part, I just let you guys look at and read those. Study guide to practice exams. So every exam, you'll have a practice exam that you can do. You don't have to do it. It's optional. But it's good practice because they are very similar to the actual exam problems. So it's good practice for you to do those, and there's always solutions for them as well. I would recommend doing the practice exam first, so then you can figure out what you're struggling with